Rise. Judge Vonda B. Court is now in session. Judge, this is the case of the cook.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. Cook, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, Your Honor, I've got a 13-year-old daughter and a ex-husband that's decided to start his life over, but I can't do that because I've got a child to take care of, and I need some help doing that.
All right, buckle up. This case is about to get interesting. We have a hardworking mom providing for her daughter, while the dad insists he can't pay child support because he's a full-time student. That raises a big question. Does being in school excuse a parent from financial responsibility, or should parenting always come first? And here's the kicker. He's in law school. Will the judge see right through this, or does he actually have a valid argument to stick around? Because this ruling might just take you by surprise.
What do you mean by start his life over? He remarried?
No, he's decided to go back to school.
That's a good thing, right?
That's fine, but it doesn't help us any.
Okay, you mean financially? It doesn't help
Financially,
you.
right.
Okay, what type of activities are your daughter, involved in?
She wants to do cheerleading, and she's on student council.
Okay. And I'm assuming student council costs, they have a membership fee or something?
They have membership fees, and they have a lot of activities that they do that they're involved in because it's kind of a leadership thing, and so they have a lot of things that they have to go to as well.
Okay. All right, and you're just looking for some financial
I'm
assistance?
just asking for some help.
Sounds pretty straightforward, sir. Is there a reason why you don't want to give her any money to pay for your daughter?
Wait a minute. He's remarried and back in school. That's a major life change. But does that mean he gets to hit the reset button on his responsibilities? Mom's making one thing clear. She didn't get the luxury of starting over. She still has a child to raise. And that's the real question. Should personal growth ever come before financial responsibility? Let's see how the judge handles this one.
Well, it's not that I don't want to pay, it's just I'm not working at all. I'm a full-time student.
Okay.
My tuition is paid for, and I've got a Pell Grant, and I get basically $3,200 for a school year to help cover my living expenses as well. So
do they break that up by semester?
It's broken up by semester. I have to maintain grades and stay in school. I have to prove that to be able to continue to get receive the grant. So I'm just trying to further my education. I understand my daughter's important to me. I love her very much, but I'm going back to law. I'm trying to get into law school, so I'm trying to figure out how to better it in the long run.
Okay. That sounds pretty fair, ma'am. Are you aware that he gets this Pell Grant money?
Yes, ma'am, I am. But I know a lot of students also work at least a part-time job.
Right.
And
here it comes, the classic, I'd love to help, but defense. He says he's a full-time student with no job, and sure, law school isn't cheap. But let's be real, he's still bringing in some income. So, does that money get a free pass just because it's for education? Or does child support still take priority? Let's see how Judge Vonda rules on this one.
the money he's getting with the Pell Grant, I know it's not a lot, but again, I'm only a daycare worker, so I don't get a lot of money either, and I need some help even just with her normal everyday things. I'm paying for her insurance as it is, and just trying to keep things going is difficult.
Right, I understand, but you can't squeeze blood out of a rock. Okay, you understand that, right?
Yes.
He's only going to be obligated to pay whatever it is that he has as income. Although some students may work, not all full-time students have a job either. I mean, you have to take that into consideration. So,
oh, Mom's not letting that slide. She's calling it out. Plenty of students manage to hold down jobs while juggling school. And she's got a point. All across the country, college students are working to support themselves and their families. So if they can make it work, why can't he? The tension is rising, and I can't wait to see how the judge breaks this one down.
based on the information that he provided and that the testimony that you both gave, him confirming the amount of money that he receives from going to school, and you knowing that, that's all he's going to be obligated to give you at the moment. Now, later, at some time when he does, presumably go to law school or anything like that, you can receive extra money after he starts working. But as for right now, I can't take more from him than what he has. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So $3,200 per school year is not even, he's not even making a full year worth of that money. You said a semester is broken down, so like $1,600 or so.
Judge Vonda B. is keeping it simple. She can't take money that doesn't exist. That's just facts. But for now, that means Mom is left carrying most of the financial weight. Is it fair? Maybe not. But the law has its limits, and sometimes that's just how it plays out. Don't worry, though. This case is far from over.
That's about right. So I'm living with somebody else that's going to school, so we're helping split the expenses, trying to make it last as long as we possibly can.
Right. So, ma'am, based on what he's telling me, and I have to assume his testimony is true until you provide me with anything different. That's all he has at this time. So that's all that I can calculate off of. So because of that, $3,200 is not a lot of money. So I would have to base his child support on minimum wage. You understand?
Yes, and
Okay.
any help would help.
Okay, it's something. It's something.
Right.
It may not cover everything, but you also work. So until he's able to get a better, not necessarily a better job because he's not working right now, but maybe, as he keeps going through school, he may get more money from a Pell Grant. We don't necessarily know, but until that happens, he'll be at this. So gross of minimum wage is $1,256. Net of $1,134.87, which brings your monthly obligation to $226.97. That's based on minimum wage. Okay. All right. Would that $226 help cover something with student council?
Yes,
something
ma'am.
with cheerleading?
Wait a second. He's splitting expenses with someone else. That means his cost of living is lower than if he were on his own. So shouldn't that give him a little more flexibility to contribute? Mom might be onto something here. Let's see if the judge connects the dots.
Yes, I just needed some help. I wasn't expecting him to do everything.
Okay. All right. And sir, you understand that, correct?
So when does that start?
That starts today.
Okay.
That obligation starts today. Just know that in the future, when you get a job or you start receiving more money for some reason from your Pell Grant, you have an obligation to report that. And if you don't, she can actually report it and bring you back to court. And at that time, you will be paying more than minimum wage and child support. Just want to make sure you understand that.
And there it is, the big moment. Since Dad doesn't have a steady income, the court is setting his child support based on minimum wage. That's the law, and it makes sense. But here's the kicker. This amount won't stay the same for long. The moment his income goes up, so does his child support. So Dad better start planning ahead.
So if you become a big-time lawyer one day and, for some reason your child is still under the age of 18, your child support can still go up.
Now, this is key. Mom isn't asking Dad to cover everything. She just needs some support. And that's exactly what child support is meant to be. Help, not a punishment. It may be a small amount for now, but it's still something. But what do you think? Is this fair? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
I got it.
Okay. Any questions from either of you?
Yeah.
Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Judge Vonda B. just gave Dad a serious reality check. If he makes it big as a lawyer, his child support could skyrocket. And let's be real, that's only fair. If you're pulling in six figures, $226 a month isn't going to cut it. So while he's hitting the books, he might want to keep that in. And there you have it. In the end, the judge made a fair ruling. Dad has to pay child support, but only based on what he's earning right now. The takeaway? Being the student doesn't erase parental responsibilities, but the court also won't demand money that doesn't exist. What do you think? Should Dad have been ordered to pay more? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love these courtroom breakdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more wild legal showdowns.